This video was sponsored by Enhance, Neowatt, A Better Road Planner, Elbilmek, Kempower and Bilkomponenter. Yo, what's up? We are in Chengdu getting ready for yet another Sunday drive. This time with the Leapmotor C10. Unfortunately, I was not able to do it with the B10. The C10 has slightly bigger battery, but then slightly high consumption. So it should be roughly the same result, right? So yeah, as usual, we charge it to 100% and then we're gonna drive like an old man. So here you see the interior. It's nice. It's actually quite spacious. I start a bit late today, almost 1 in the afternoon. Roughly 3 hours later than normal. But maybe that's a good thing because we don't have any tint here, so it's gonna be freaking hot in the cabin. Yeah, okay, anyway, 100%, the car estimates, well, 384. Can we go 500? I estimate around 65 kilowatt hour and then maybe, I don't know, 120 watt hour per kilometer. Well, let's see. And as usual, we ABC, always be cleaning. Yeah, the car is a bit dirty after a long trip, all the way to Pattaya, and then back here, and then back again. So yeah, hand wash for 80 baht, around 2 euros. That is a good hand job. We have passed Chiang Mai and now we're heading towards Lampang. Well, actually this area is called Lamphun. But yeah, the consumption right now is 126 watt hour per kilometer. Yeah, it's kind of small, but you can see it better here. Wow, that is simply amazing. I expect 120 watt. Oh, no. The car's auto steer is not very good. In it, you see LCC is just barely working here. Other cars could do this just fine. Okay, oh dude, what the heck is a truck doing in the middle lane? This is the fast lane here I'm going on now. So yeah, I will be cruising at 80 kilometers per hour. It's 78 GPS speed. And then here we have, wait, let me show you here. We have seat ventilation active. Oh yeah. So, 3 more runs before we go to Norway, yeah. With this car and then the 2 Teslas, Model 3 long-range rear-wheel drive and then Model Y rear-wheel drive coming up. Here is the EV hub, EV charging hub with whopping 8 stalls, 4 chargers at the Pattaya station here. Yeah, okay. What is the temperature? 29 degrees Celsius, nice and warm, yeah. Quick pit stop. So far 122 watt hour per kilometer. Wow, we're down to 65%. Seems like 500 kilometers should be possible. Okay, now I go grab some food. Well, over there somewhere. You see, this is more normal traffic. That over there, the chargers are available. Huh? Okay, yeah. Toilet and so on, and then blah, 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 and then. Oh yeah, 5-star chicken. I want that. Well, you know what's funny? In Thailand, at the toilet here, they have plenty of peeing stalls, but only 2 charging stalls. PTT, they need to make plenty of charging stalls and then less pee stalls. Oh yeah, we're eating good today. We have the chicken on a stick, we have sticky rice, some coconut water, and then remember to ABC, always banana cake. we're getting close to dark. The sun is setting. Yeah, we are quite late today. But so far the consumption is 122 watt-hour per kilometer. But I have so far estimated that this car underports as much as 3%. I need to get a more accurate result once I stop for the final charge. But well, yeah, and you can see here that we are down to 35%. So yeah, some reports from me during the daytime earlier, a couple of hours earlier, when we had the sun against us. I can turn off ND filter now. The car would struggle to use lane assist, or you couldn't see the lanes, even though I could see the lanes quite clearly. Now it's working a lot better. So yeah, that was a slight bummer. Also, I pointed out this before, that when you descend going downhill or when you slow down, you don't regen as long as you are in adaptive cruise control. You will use friction brake to slow down, because there's also a fossil version of this, and I'm not surprised, because Chinese cars, many Chinese cars, they do it like this. But it means that the consumption here, first of all, it's possibly lower because the distance is not correct, but also it could have been even lower if it regen. And also earlier, when every time we went in some curves, it would slow down. And of course, if it slows down while in cruise control, it also uses friction brake. So, you know, a Jayco 5 is also kind of boxy, but the Jayco 5 consumes only 111 watt-hour per kilometer. So I wonder if the consumption here could be as low as a Jayco 5 if the software was better. So, you know, so far I would conclude that this car is quite good, but the software ruins. Oh, don't phantom brakes, yeah. But the software ruins the car. This happens so many times with Chinese cars, but not only Chinese cars, also happens with the German cars. And also based on the 34% here and consume energy here, I estimate that we have less than 60 kilowatt hour net capacity. Really? This is 69.9 kilowatt hour gross capacity. Does it have a huge buffer, or what the heck is going on here? Okay, I'm gonna find out once we go deep. We always need to go deep. Alright, we're done with the test. 450.9 kilometers done. 123 watt-hour per kilometer. 40 kilometers of range left, and then 9% left. So this is good enough. I don't want to go too deep in Thailand, so I'll calculate. But now we need to charge. I will also try to verify the energy by charging it. Oh yeah, we're charging now, getting 81 kilowatt. I think that's the maximum for this car. You can see here on the charging screen that okay, we see 10% there, but this thing, in the beginning I didn't notice it, but it shows there how many amps and volts we are taking, but not how many kilowatt. Okay, all good then. Okay, I've done the math now, and based on the trip, I estimated that we have 61 kilowatt hour. It's 60.9, but then I was idling a little bit in the beginning, so I'm not sure if it's counting the trip meter or not. So 61 kilowatt hour only on this 69.9 kilowatt hour battery. And actually the B10 has 61.6 kilowatt hour, but it's supposed to be only 67 kilowatt hour or something. So the B10 has slightly more net capacity than the C10, which is more expensive, and the B10 charges over twice as fast. So I estimated only 504 kilometers here, and then based on the range test on the B10 versus C10, I can estimate that we would have 106 watt-hour per kilometer in the B10, and the B10 would go 581 kilometers. So, well, why buy the C10? Well, it has a nicer, firmer ride. It has actually amazing space for in this price range, and the interior is nicer. Yes, okay, but that's pretty much it. It has no trunk. You cannot lower the trunk. Actually, trunk space in the B10 is better than the C10. It's 7 versus 8 banana boxes. So yeah, At least now I tested it to see how it is. But maybe if we put 18-inch wheels here, okay, then it will be slightly better if it fits, or 19-inch maybe. Wow, look at this. We're at 63% and we're still taking 85 kilowatt. A nice and flat curve. It seems that the current is capped at, we can see here, it seems to be capped at around 234 amps. And then as the voltage goes up, then we get faster and faster speed. So yeah, this is actually okay speed. We've been charging for 28 minutes. Okay, it's not the fastest out there, but it's still okay. So not much to do here is a bank jab station. Well, you can see it. But yeah, the spark chargers, I prefer using them now because they have fairly good speed, right? More than 200 amp. On the PTT station I would get only around 70 kilowatt because the 200 amp limit most of the places. And then this car for some reason doesn't handshake on those 180 kilowatt chargers, the spark charge, where they are 300 amp limit. What is it? 180 kilowatt, or whatever. So not much to do here. There's a lemon green mart, and then there's toilet, and then actually over there I could Google translate it all the way from the car. It says, I think it says ahan, food. Ahan tam sang probably. So there's just food there. You can get Kempower or whatever, you know, you wanna. Yeah, but I'm not hungry yet. I ate a lot that food earlier, so I'm not hungry yet. So I'll probably just hang out here and wait for the charge to reach around 90%, right? Oh damn! At 70%, or I don't know when it happened. Then the charging speed just plummeted to 38. Oh, okay. Whatever. I think I was thinking about going to 80% or 90%. I think I'll just go to around 75%. I'll go and pee, and then yeah, we should have a good enough measurement to calculate the net capacity. Wait a minute. At 78%, we're back at 85 kilowatt, and you can see here we're again capped at 234 amp. The car rapid gated. Or I don't know. It's only 26 degrees outside. What the heck was going on there? But dude, this is simply amazing that at 78% we're still receiving 85 kilowatt. Wow. Okay, now it dropped again at 79%. Well, is it gonna go up again after 5 minutes? We'll see. Okay, this is interesting. I actually finished charging to 100%. It was fairly fast towards the end. So from 9 to 100%, we gained 64.8 kilowatt hour from the charger, and then there were some losses. When the car was on, that usually pulls around 300-500 watts, and then there was some cooling going on, typically 1 to 2 kilowatt, and then also the battery heats up as you fast charge it. So all that stuff is energy lost. And when you calculate how much we would have gotten from the charger if you charge from 0%, it would be around 71 kilowatt hour. But then the losses, I measured this in a Tesla Model 3, it was MC Hammer 5-6 years ago. It should be around 8%. And then if we apply that, we end up with 65.5 kilowatt hour, but that is into the battery. And then when you discharge it, the battery also heats up slightly. But we drove quite slow today, and it was nice and warm outside, so I calculate around 0.5 kilowatt hour loss. So based on the charging test, we should have 65 kilowatt hour net capacity, not 61. And that actually makes more sense if we have a 70 kilowatt hour battery, right? But this means that the consumption that the car was reporting was actually incorrect. In many cases when I tested this, it is correct. The consumption reported by the car versus the charging corresponds. But in this case, it was just suspiciously low. So I don't know what is correct, but my best guess is that the car is actually lying about consumption. It's actually 6.6% higher. So the actual consumption today is possibly 129 watt hour per kilometer, not 121. Okay, anyway, now I'm gonna go to Bangkok. This is weird because we're getting close to Bangkok, and then since last charge, or since the last run now, See the distance, 246 kilometers. You can see it here, maybe. There, since last charge. If you take, to do the math here, since last charge versus the state of charge, it seems like we have 63 kilowatt hour now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is drive slower for the last 42 kilometers, and then we see if the consumption drops significantly. That will reveal if the consumption here is not since last charge, but it's more like a rolling average. We are here at the flagship PDT station 62. So if we look at the trip meter here versus the remaining 8%, this time we're supposed to have 63.2 kilowatt hour. This is a big mystery. But it seems like driving slower didn't really change anything. So it seems like this is still based on the since last charge. It's not lying. It's not based on the rolling average for the last 50 or 100 kilometers. Okay, whatever, I'm gonna charge now. Oh yeah, we're charging now, getting 70 kilowatt, because this cable has 200 amp limit. Man, it's freaking yeah, the PDT stations, many of them, or the EV Station Plus, they are only 200 amp limited. So actually right now over here, an 800 volt car would have an advantage, because then I'll be getting double the voltage, and then 150 kilowatt at least. Well, okay, whatever, I need to eat anyway, so I don't care if it takes a little bit longer here. And I like this location because it has plenty of chargers. See, at least 6 stalls, so there's less chance of laderstau over here. The only problem is that it's past midnight now, so all the restaurants are closed, except for, well, 7-Eleven. Yes, no problem. What the heck, man? I came back to the charger and I saw that it stopped charging. Well, I had to start again because the chargers were booked. The damn booking system, I forgot about it. So, well, at least now the way it works is that once you book the slot, if the guy who booked the slot don't arrive within 5 minutes or so, they release that slot. So at least now I have around 20 minutes, I think, until the next guy is supposed to get here. Well, that should be enough. I'm gonna do a quick eat and then also start packing the car. So I'm returning the car tomorrow. So I have lots of equipment in here that needs to be tucked away, so that tomorrow morning is just quite quick. Come over here, I mean, get over to the car. That might be one of the guys who booked it. And then return the car and then get back. Rinse and repeat. Okay, room inspection. I chose the same hotel we stayed at with a family, but just different room now. But yeah, it's called Metro Hotel. I can maybe put the link in the description, because many people ask me what hotel is it, what hotel is it. Yeah, it's a nice hotel. So here's the bathroom. The sink is out here, and then wait, huh? Dude, this is also dual bed room. Huh, okay, well, I only need one bed. So that's it. Tomorrow I return the Leapmotor C10, and then I go to Tesla and borrow Tesla Model 3 long-range rear-wheel drive Highland. Oh, that's gonna be awesome, man. That's gonna be for now. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for watching, and talk to you later.